Hello.
Hey, folks, welcome to Ask the Expert. We are here to help you with every question that you have about Azure AI and intelligent apps. We have so many. So let's go to introducing. So I'm Pablo Lopez. I'm a cloud advocate at Microsoft. I live in Brazil. Very sunny Brazil, which is not sunny right now, which is amazing. And that's it for me. And go to Bethany.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Bethany Jepchumba. I'm in Kenya. It's very, very cold. We're having, I think it's we call it the winter of Kenya, but there's no snow and there's barely any rain, but it's very, very cold. How about you, Nitya?
Hey, Bethany. Yeah. Well, I'm in New York, where it is cold, but it's getting better. We're kind of, I guess, getting into spring now. So, hi everyone on the stream. My name is Nitya Narasimhan. I'm a senior cloud advocate on the AI advocacy team, along with both of my companions here. And we are really excited about everything that's going on in the AI space. Are you excited about Build? Are the two of you looking forward to all the new goodness coming down the pipe?
We have so many things unveiled. I mean, me and Nitya, Bethany were seeing not long ago new things that we're gonna see unveiled, and we have many amazing news for you folks about AI. Is incredible. It's a field that always changes. You stay 6 months. Remember when ChatGPT was a new thing, like on end of 2022? It's like, oh, we cannot improve this. New things come around every 3 months, but I'm really excited for this build.
Yeah, and I think we're going to, first I want to encourage everyone on the stream to ask us questions, because what we're really here for is to kind of understand from you, what are the kinds of things you want to do with Azure AI? Are you curious about any of the tools, the application? So please leave us messages in the chat. We have moderators who are listening and will bring that to us. But I guess before we get started, do we want to talk a little bit about Contoso Chat? Do you think I should show the demo a little bit and so people understand what we were talking about in our post? Yeah?
Show the demo.
Yeah,
Show the demo.
All right. Okay. So for context, if you kind of had not been following this stream, we actually have a sample called Contoso Chat. You can go to it. There is a link that will be put up in the chat sooner or later. And it's really an end-to-end sample for building what you can think of as a copilot experience end-to-end on Azure AI. And so think of it as a retail copilot chatbot like this, right? So you've got yourself a website. In this case, this is the Contoso Outdoor Company. They're selling a whole bunch of kind of like adventure equipment. And so the demo for this is what you'll end up building if you kind of go and look at that sample, is you'll build a chat AI that's grounded in your data. So I can go to this and say, what is a good backpack for Andalusia? And it should actually go in and come back to me with a response that's grounded in the data that's in this site. This particular application that you'll see in that sample will go through all phases of the LLMOps app cycle, from like ideation to evaluation and operationalization. And yeah, I think that's kind of like the quick demo, and we can come back to this if people have questions. But we built a whole bunch of samples around this too. So what do y'all think? What should we be talking about?
Wow, we can talk about so many things. We can just talk about all the tooling that we did. We have so many parts of this tooling, me, Nate, and Bethany now, on how many things we have to talk about it. And we can start even from explaining what RAG is, right? The classic RAG samples. We can talk about not even Contoso Chat. We can just talk about like smaller and bigger samples for every scale.
That's actually a good point. So I think Bethany and you did the PromptFlow sample, and PromptFlow is actually what we use under the covers in Contoso Chat. So do one of you want to talk a little bit about what PromptFlow is?
Yeah, I can talk a bit about PromptFlow. So the same way you have semantic kernel to be able to orchestrate your application, or you're using LangChain, we have PromptFlow, but PromptFlow is different. You don't have to write lines of code. There's already an inbuilt system there. So PromptFlow operates in a way you're using a graph. So there's a graph that's linked with different nodes. So you have your inputs up there. Then what do you want your inputs to do? You want to retrieve the data. You want to add your embeddings. You want to add all these different things. And then, of course, at the end, you get an output. The fun bit about PromptFlow is it's a mix of both low and no code. Sorry, it's a mix of both low and code paths, where you can add in your scripts, but you can also add in your connections. You might want to add, let's say, bring in your Azure OpenAI keys in there, but you also want to do it via code. You can do it via the UI that you have. So it's a mix of both, which is very good for all the users. And the fun thing is you can do this on two platforms. One, you can do it on the Azure AI Studio. The other way you can do it is using the VS Code, which has its own extension, and you can do all the things you want to do on it. And for me, how I look at PromptFlow is it's something that's continually growing. It's something that whoever in your team can use it, whether it's an ML engineer or an app application person who's now building the application, that's the developer, whether they're building on Android or they're building on these different platforms, they can be able to use it to be able to add AI into the applications. And I think that's it about PromptFlow. Pablo, do you have anything else to add? Any resources they can use to learn more about PromptFlow?
I see. And we already have some amazing questions. Let's start with Tayo's question about the following. Can we build it into mobile apps? Nitya, can we do those solutions in mobile?
Okay, that's actually a great question. So I'm going to split this up, right? Because when you think about a mobile app or a web app, that's actually your front-end experience. That's your user experience. It's where your prompt or question is coming into your system from. When we're talking about building AI apps, we're actually thinking about building that back end, right? So in this case, the example you saw having a web app talking to the Contoso Chat AI endpoint. That Chat AI endpoint, the AI application we build, is deployed in Azure and exposes an API that any front end can hit. So once we've deployed it, I have a web app, but you can absolutely write a mobile app that sends that question to that same endpoint, and it's no different. So from the question of like, can you build it into mobile apps? You're really saying, can I build a mobile UI? Yes, you can. If you're asking, can I run the AI components of it in mobile? There are various people looking at it from like different verticals. So definitely come and leave us comments in our YouTube chat flow, I guess, wherever, and we'll make sure we put the references for you. But I hope that answers your question. We want to separate the difference between the UI and the AI. So mobile can talk to any of these AI endpoints, no issues. If you can talk REST and hit an API endpoint, you should be fine. Sorry.
Excellent.
Yes.
Let's go to the next question. I already have a question. So Milorad asks, where can we start from the fundamentals? So that's an incredible question because we already have a lot of resources for you to learn about AI. We have from this very beginning on, we talk about tokens, the tokenizer, like the very small bits and bobs that you are, or AI life, until, more advanced techniques, rack buttons, building it into infrastructure solutions. How can we do it? So we already have like a full series just for that. You can take a look on both on build intelligent apps. You can see it as well on our AI Studio collection, where we talk a lot about everything that we're building.
Yeah, I was going to add into this one. Fundamentals is a great point. I hope I get this URL right, but fundamentals is a great place for you to start, but you want to think about fundamentals from two sides. One is if you're building AI, if you're building generative AI applications, you really want to start with prompt engineering and fine tuning. And all of us participated in this amazing open source curriculum called Generative AI for Beginners.
For beginners.
Yes. I think that's the one. If you go check that out, I would say start there because you can get notebooks for everything. You configure it to use OpenAI or Azure OpenAI, and you get a systematic approach. Second, if one of you has the link, you should put it in there. We got to give a shout out to Carlotta. There is literally an AI skills challenge going on right now. And if you join that, it kind of is a 12-part Learn Live series and the Cloud Skills Challenge that will take you from very much of the basics to advanced concepts. So definitely go look that up. And the collection that they put on is really us maintaining a bunch of things around only the Azure AI platform. But fundamentals start with prompt engineering. Go check out generative AI for beginners.
Check generative AI for beginners. We did write a lot of things on that. And by the way, the Cloud Skills Challenge of AI is down below. Take a look on the live streams. We have a lot of great content for you folks, not only from us, not only for generative AI for beginners, but all over Microsoft Reactor. Let's go to our next question.
Yes.
Cody Young. I hopefully I spoke it correctly. So, do you have any RAG app samples? We're trying to use AI search with a React project, but we have some issues with cores and skill set functionality. So, who's going to answer this? Bethany? Do we have samples? We have a lot of samples, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of samples. The RAG sample that we have is the one by the Python team. I think it uses React, if I'm not wrong, for the front end.
Well, we actually do have some. So I should basically, sorry.
Yeah.
The reason is we love Contoso Chat, so we're like very like Python centric. But what I'll suggest is, I don't have the link handy. If you go to ai.azure.com, go to the top, and under the AI SDK, and maybe one of you can grab the link and put it there. Under the AI SDK tile, there will be samples, and you click on that, you will be taken to a repository that'll show you links to all the samples you can build. AI search and RAG is big. We actually have end-to-end applications from the JavaScript advocacy team, from the .NET advocacy team, from the Python advocacy team, that kind of like will show you that kind of enterprise architecture with a solution. So I want to distinguish between what Contoso Chat is and what those are. We're going to see some of these come in there as well, but think of Contoso Chat as like the place where you go to learn what's up and coming. Like every new feature we've got that sample integrated. But when you're building an enterprise solution, you're looking at things like analytics, are you kind of safety, security, firewalls, right? All of that stuff, that architecture pattern and all are in those samples. So check them out. And there is, I think there's one for Angular. I don't know if there's one for React. You could look it up. Also a shout out, keep an eye out on Awesome AZD. So https://aka.ms/awesomeazd. And if you go in there and look for AI, it should show you a bunch of AI samples. And there you can pick JavaScript and see the ones that have the kind of front end being Next or React or Angular or whatever. That helps.
Incredible. We have even more questions. Let me get the name of the folk here. It's okay. There we go. Thank you so much. Audio rework visions. Oh, your name is like, I got it because I was trying to read it differently. It is possible to implement the code that I create on AI Studio as a gist, those snippets into a GitHub press page. What are the steps are necessary to ensure a seamless integration on that?
I will have opinions, but I'm going to let one of you go first.
I'm not 100% familiar with WordPress, so I'm not really sure if you can be able to implement like scripts in there in terms of if you want to implement AI code that you have on AI Studio. There's like different samples in Python, in JavaScript, and so on. So if it's possible to add a JavaScript script into the WordPress page and have it as a UI for it, why not? I'm not sure if you can though. It's been a minute since I used WordPress, and the only thing I remember it being able to do was adding HTML and it now giving you the output. I don't remember if you could add scripts. If you can add like code, JavaScript, Python, yes, you can go ahead to do so. If you can't, I don't think you can be able to implement the AI Studio code.
Yeah, and I love the question because I think we should absolutely put these questions and resources we find there. But I'll reinforce what Bethany says and say that, again, when you think about your front end, it's just the place where the user is going to put their question in, right? Yeah. And as long as you can embed a component that shows a text box and take a question from the user and can be configured with the endpoint for your deployed AI, so you can take a question, hit an API, send the question, get the response back and render it. That's pretty much it. I mean, like from the front end perspective, there shouldn't be a big distinction between any server and AI, other than you want the chat experience. The question is whether you want to build more intelligence into your front end. Then you got to think. But if you're just saying, hey, I want to put a little widget in where the user can ask a question about my site, and it goes there, that's the easy part. The hard part is taking your WordPress content and making sure your backend chat API is grounded in that data. That's a completely different question. But thank you for asking.
Excellent. And I would ask for more questions, but Murat here came right at it. By the way, folks, before I talk about this question, put more your questions here. We want to hear from you. We have still some time to talk about a lot of things we have with AI. So, can we use any available LLM on Azure AI? Let's build, let's say, apps with Mistral, Llama, Command R plus other LLM models. So we are asking about all the models we have on Azure AI. Should I go?
Go.
Okay, so here's the thing. We actually vet a lot of the models we have there, but we have so many models. We have so many models on Azure AI that I know from head. I actually know. So we had the GPTs. We have this GPT Happy Family. We have not only have LLMs, but we have SLMs as well. If you don't know what SLMs are slow language models. Those are, with fewer parameters, but those usually are more fine-tuned. They have a more care for how they deliver answers. So those can actually, sometimes even with fewer parameters, can be as powerful than other bigger LLMs. So, but only on LLMs, we have the GPT family, which is a ton already. We have Llama, we have Falcon, we have Mistral, we have Neumotron from NVIDIA, we have Cloud. I believe we have Cloud already. So we have so many models already. Did I miss any model, Nitya?
No, but I wanted to basically add like the easiest way for you to integrate. So I think we got to think about it in two parts. So if you go to that link that's on the screen right now, you will notice that we actually have a model hub where you can go explore all these models, create an Azure account, go in, you can actually use the playground and see how these models are running. To deploy them, you would deploy one of those models and then you can use them in your Azure AI app. Now, what we're kind of talking about is seamless integrations, which you bring up. So there are some samples. For example, I'm a huge fan of Hugging Face. There are models from Hugging Face that you can use and build things. Some of the interactions and workflows are streamlined for Azure OpenAI because that's kind of been our earliest set, but we are definitely getting more samples and more guidance on others. Also go check out, there are two different ways in which you can work with models. There's models as a service, which is kind of what you're seeing here, and then there's pay as you go. So I think if you kind of look at that page, you will find that you can filter collections by, where the source is, like Microsoft Research. I saw someone ask about Phi. So are they coming from Microsoft? Are they curated by Azure AI? Are they kind of like from a partner like OpenAI, right? So you can see all of them in there and play with them and then figure out how to integrate them. And yes, if you are interested in a specific model, definitely kind of leave us a note so we can find that out for you. But there are already tutorials on the Azure AI documentation that I think you can see how to work with Llama, for example.
Yeah, we have so many incredible models on that you can spend like a year just exploring those models, and then we continue adding them. And it can. By the way, Nitya, that's a question from me to you, because I don't know.
Okay.
Do we have model comparisons for SLMs as well? Did we implement that?
Oh, comparisons? What do you mean?
I mean the benchmarks of the SLMs. Do we have that already?
I don't know if it's on the site, but I know that, well, let me put it this way. I know that the Phi team actually had a really great paper and a presentation on it. I'm not sure if it's available outside. But Phi 2 it's currently there. Like you can definitely go play with it.
The Phi team is incredible, folks. Try to use Phi. I would like to joke and say, try to use Phi. Phi is actually an incredible SLM for the size that it has. So let's go next question. Beluga, I believe. Do we have any Microsoft, GitHub from Microsoft all samples? Okay, so it depends. We know that Microsoft, we have the samples from Microsoft itself, like the GitHub name Microsoft, we have the docs, and we have Azure. So we have like those three main branches for all the repos that you see, but especially the focus here is Azure. So I believe on Azure you can see. But as Nitya said, take a look on Awesome AZD. We have a lot of good things there. Do you have any other recommendations, folks?
Yeah, I think hopefully they'll put both the links up, but the Awesome AZD is where I would keep an eye out for everything that we can it's really not just the use case, but end-to-end solutions. But that second one, like I was telling you, the Azure AI
Azure AI
page, I think I put a link internally if they can share it. Yeah, there isn't a one-stop shop for everything, but right now I think at least that's the Azure AI samples repo. And if you go look in there, you'll find many of them. And hopefully when there are other places, if that gets updated, I think this is one place to go find out. They will put a link to the new repo here. So I would keep an eye on this one to start. And then the collection that we put out there, we'll definitely keep that up to date.
Okay, let's go to next one. Oh my God. So how do you rework visions again? Let's go. How do I write a function document upload and storage into a chart interface app enabling users to upload and analyze documents? Are there any key considerations on developing this feature? So for this, I would say right now, we did a lot of work on, especially on attachments. I believe we have on some of the E2E samples, we have those. So we actually have some, but the key considerations, that's a thing that I believe I need more expertise. But the most important part when you try to analyze a document is the following. You're gonna need to tokenize it. Always remember that. And remember, when you tokenize a document, I don't know if you go to analyze it internally and you're gonna use ADA or something like that, Dex ADA, something. Take care of your tokens. Sometimes we have a limit at how many tokens you can analyze for a region. So take care of those, because if you consume too much of them, you're gonna need to take care of this resource. You take care of your tenant on that. So I'll always care about the quotas that you have, especially on this tokenization. Nitya, what steps I believe we could take as well?
I was actually trying to find the links. So Azure OpenAI has something called chat with your data. So I was thinking that would be the good place for them to start, because there is a kind of like exactly, so much stuff going on. So I was going to try to find the link, because we're not going to be able to tell you everything on a chat, but there are standards. Like you want to chat with your PDF, you want to actually bring a whole tranche of documents into Azure and then use them to analyze it. There are various ways in which you have to think about it based on the size of your data, the format it's in, how you plan to use it. But I do want to, that was a kind of a service that just came out. I'm just trying to find the link. So if you want to chat for a second, I'm going to go find it. Yeah. I believe this is the service itself, and I'll put the link internally. But there was a really nice tech community post that I was trying to find where.
Oh, I know the one. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but I always like to say that and by the way, take much care when you try to add document uploads on your chats, especially because, as I said, when always you try to attach something, it's better to you to have them sent some way and you go to put on database. But I know if it is on the fly, it is big, because remember, always take care about security, because I can put like a big document and try to kill our quota or try to add some prompt injection on that. So I always take care when giving users the possibility of, you always know when deploying something and it goes outside, it's sometimes out of your control. So take care of that. There's some things on the end. So we have 5 minutes left. Oh my God, I need to get 1 or 2 questions because we talk too much.
I will actually say quickly that I think Blue Hat was asking, I'm looking to create an AI model to scrape PDF files in order to import into a mixed reality guide, best practice for loading samples, etc. The link I put in actually talks about the different file formats, and I think PDF is one of them. So start there and definitely kind of, check on this. We'll try to get more detailed links for these answers and put it in a blog post after. Do follow dev.to on Azure or tech community, and we'll make a post on this after.
Exactly. So let's go with the quick things. I'm trying to select the questions that we have quick things. I see a website recommendation of everything that is happening. Honestly, go access Azure AI or always take a look on LinkedIn on our socials because we always talk new things, especially me, Bethany, and Nithya. We can see our LinkedIn. Add us on LinkedIn because we always talk about the new things here. So take a look on our LinkedIn. Next point. Go on.
I was going to say, do you remember we used to have a developer hub? Is it learn.microsoft.com AI? I'm trying to remember what that is. It's kind of like a good place to check out. Yeah, there's a learning hub. I remember this here.
Yeah.
That's a place for you to track. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but hey, before anything, build. Go just register for build. Everything that's ever new is going to show up there. But I would say, and please ignore the US localization. I just copied the URL. But if you go to that Learn site, that's the learning hub for AI, and I would track that.
Okay, so we have a bunch more questions, but I want to see if we have time to answer one of those. Okay, I see from Avi Nash right here. Any recommendations for automating monitoring of Azure services in a single place? We already have it on Azure AI. Azure AI has a lot of monitoring, and you can automate a lot of those steps on only Azure AI. Bethany, do you have anything to add on that?
For the evaluation and monitoring, you have that bit in Azure AI Studio that you can be able to use to monitor and evaluate your application. So the good thing is you can evaluate your application using GPT-4. You don't have to do it manually, but everything you might need is on Azure AI Studio. There's also, I think, a question around why Azure AI Studio versus other platforms. I can say the main one is we have the various models that we've already mentioned, which is very readily available for all of you. And then the different options of building, you can use PromptFlow, you can use the AI SDK. I don't know. Probably you can also comment why Azure AI. I think it was Azure AI. Yeah, why should you use Azure AI to build intelligent apps? Yeah.
Gotcha. So, folks from Reactor, do we have any more time? One minute. One last minute. I'm gonna say.
Last thoughts, final thoughts, people.
Okay, let's go. Gonna enter with final thoughts, folks. Learn. I'm sorry for the questions you cannot answer because oh my god, it got really quick, really fast on the last.
Oh wait, I'm gonna do this rapid thing. Divakar, there's some stuff for Cosmos DB. Go check out. Follow us on Dev2 or go check out Twitter. The Cosmos DB PMs had just said something about it. Automating monitoring we covered. Learning Hub covered. Missed build. Oh sorry. Chat with your data blog. Yep, we're done. We got them.
Okay, folks, join us at Build. You can see right here, aka.ms, SD experts like ATE, underline AI build. Go there, let's learn a ton on build, and we have amazing sessions for you just for learning about AI. And for me, follow me on LinkedIn, Paulo Nunes Lopez. You saw on the Bay Area, and I always talk about the new developments of AI. We're gonna have an event in São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. So we're very close to have amazing events here in Brazil just on AI, Global AI Bootcamp, Global Azure, and a ton of new things that you're doing not only with AI, but with .NET as well. Come with us and, take a look. I've been really happy. My first SD Experts, and I believe it went amazingly well.
And thank you all for your questions. Thank you, Bethany. Thank you, Pablo. Please keep dropping your questions in the chat or in the comment section of the YouTube video. We will answer them and put a post out. Thank you so much.